what would you say? The fool is someone who's willing to make a fool of himself for the sake of a higher truth. And comedians do that all the time, especially good comedians, because they always include themselves in the joke. There's a self-transcendence that's part and parcel of humor. It is interesting that it's not reflected in more detail in the scriptural writings.
Yeah.
The whole, of course, the entire corpus is technically a comedy, right? Because a comedy is a story with a happy ending. But that doesn't, but it is interesting that there's so little discussion of humor per se. The other thing that might be interestingly considered with regards to humor is that the jester in the king's court was the only person who could really tell the truth, because he was beneath the contempt of the king, and he was there. I think he played the same role in the king's court that comedians play in our culture, as they're like canaries in the coal mine. When you persecute the comedians, if you persecute comedians, you're a tyrant.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. I'd have to think for a long time about why there isn't more reference to humor in the biblical writings. The figure of the trickster is very common, mythological trope, and the trickster is someone who's got his foot in both worlds, and so it does appear there, and that does appear as a precursor to the hero in many mythological stories.
And it keeps things very relatable too, specifically with Christianity. When I'm talking about when homilies, when priests, incorporate humor into the biblical teachings, it allows for you to connect, and it seems to be untouched upon.
Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know why it would be that case. I certainly know in my own case that I've been very happy that there's been a humorous element in the response to what I've been doing, a satirical and humorous element. That's a very good thing. And I also know that if I lose my sense of humor about what I'm doing, then that's a sign that I'm not on top of it anymore.
Like a little black, like Kurt Vonnegut, black humor.
Yeah. Okay, one more.